Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Syakirin Ihsanuddin bin Rosman, and today I will discuss about the research proposal from the assignment 2, which is the title is Focus Balance of Trade by Using Multiple Linear Regression Analysis Statistics. In this video, I will discuss about 5 content, which is the first one is introduction, second literature review, third methodology, fourth expected finding, and the last one is conclusion. In introduction, I will discuss about the research background, problem statement, and the objective of the research. Second, in literature review I will provide a brief explanation about the linear regression and multiple linear regression. In methodology, I will provide an explanation of the research proposal that we use in this investigation, which is multiple linear regression. In expected finding, I will provide an explanation about the expected result collected from the monthly statistical bulletin Sabah. And in conclusion, I will discuss the result and the end of the objective. Introduction. Sabah is the state that the largest overall land area with more than 70 square kilometers in total. The state of Sabah is home to rich variety of natural resources such as abundance of forests, mineral, plants, animal, and marine life. Throughout its history, the state's principal source of income have typically been in forest, resource, and agriculture goods. The economy of Sabah is very open, and it places an excessive amount of view of international trade. Historically, the export of Sabah raw resource and items that have been later processed have been primarily driver of the export of economy. And this is the introduction of my proposal report. For research background, the construction of regression model via the use of multiple linear regression analysis is the primary purpose of this investigation. In the event that the connection involves two or more controllable variables, the following apply, then multiple linear regression will be employed. Verifying the proportion, choosing the appropriate method of MLI, analysis of output, and formulation of multiple linear regression equation are four main phases involved in this construction of regression model. A time series of data gathered from monthly statistical bulletin Sabah, which was produced by the Department of Statistics Malaysia Sabah, and covering the year 2003 to 2009 will be used to determine how well the aim has been accomplished. In order to conduct an analysis of 7 years worth of monthly data pertaining to Sabah external trade in terms of the total value of import and export, the statistical package for the social sign SPSS statistical version 70.0 will be used. For problem statement, this is my problem statement, and the objective of the research is first to historical trend in the trade balance of Sabah, second to construct a model of regression by employing multiple linear regression analysis statistics, third to verify the validity of multiple regression model by using a time series data set that was collected from the monthly statistical bulletin Sabah that was published by the Department of Statistics Malaysia Sabah. The second content is literature review. Introduction, focus on prediction of future occurrence and forecasting is process of producing them. From Rosman 2005, multiple regression analysis is statistical approach for forecasting or predicting a variable, independent variable or function based on the result of sample historical observation comprising those variables. This method is intensively used in properties evaluation to anticipate the selling price, freight, breeding value, and the land value from Britton and McAllister, GC, has some performed the first research of the use of regression analysis in property evaluation. For forecasting, the forecast is a statement about what is expected to happen based on existing knowledge and frequently related to weather, trade, business, or economy, according to Macmillan English Dictionary 2003. And forecasting is an art, not a science. It's commonly remarkable. We may utilize this section to learn more about microeconomic forecasting, present position, and future prospects. Statler 2003. Bowerman 2004 has said that forecasts are prediction of future occurrence, while forecasting is the process of producing such prediction. And so on. Like I was said before, forecasting is an art, not a science. Statler 2007. For linear regression, there are three other subtopics that we put in linear regression, which is multiple linear regression, R square and adjusted R square, and standard error of estimate. Linear regression, we must know that the equation for linear regression is y equal to a naught plus a1x plus epsilon, where y is dependent variable, a naught is the intercept of regression coefficient, while a1 is the slope line. In multiple linear regression is owing to commit factor bias with simple regression. Multiple linear regression is typically necessary even when the investigation is only interested in effect of one independent variable. In R square and adjusted R square, R is statistic to measure the degree to which there is a connection between actual value of the critical variable of two stable prediction. However, when R square is applied to reward, is intended to obfuscate the effectively of model. And adjusted R square value is computed, which take into the consideration of number of variables in the model as well as number of observation participants that our product based. In standard error of estimation, we must know this formula. In methodology introduction, this chapter, I will provide an explanation of research approach that we use in this investigation, which is multiple linear regression, the result of which have been collected from monthly statistical bulletin Sabah, which is published by Department of Statistics Malaysia Sabah. Flowchart that we need to follow to do this research is the first one is data. Second research method we need to do. The third one is verifying the supposition. The fourth one is choosing appropriate method of multiple linear regression. Fourth, analysis of the output. And the last one, we need to do the step of formulation of multiple linear regression. First is data. In this research, secondly, data from the year 2003 to 2009 was utilized. Monthly data on Sabah's external trade in terms of import and export total to the last 7 years was collected from the Department of Statistics Malaysia Sabah Monthly Statistical Bulletin. Statistical Package for Social Science SPSS Statistics version 70.0 will be used to analyze the data. In research method, regression analysis aims to create a meaningful relation between predictor variable and y, estimating mean y, forecasting individual y, and understanding how independent variable affect y. Multiple regression analysis might be standard hierarchically or stepwise. Stepwise multiple regression is a statistical method in which the researcher gives SPSS a list of predictor variables and let the software decide which one is used and in what order. The three most common methods of forward selection, reverse deletion, and stepwise regression. MLR have four major procedures for predicting trade balance: general, process including checking assumption, selecting ML process, analysis result, and constructing MLR equation. Verifying the proportion or we can say checking assumption. For statistical interference in the necessary to verify that the data-driven navigation model satisfies the normal distribution. There has to be a linear connection between dependent and dependent variable, a constant variation for the error term, and for them to be statistical independent. The hypothesis may be tested by looking at the scatter plot of the residues generated by various multiple regression methods. The disparities between the actual and the expected dependent variable score are known as residue. Next, choosing the appropriate method of MLR. Because of the value of the regression coefficient are dependent and the variable in the model, choosing predictor for model should be done with caution. As a result, the predictor used and how they are incorporated into the model might have been influenced in hierarchy regression. Predictors are chosen based on the previous word, and the result determines the order in which predictors are included in the model. Forward selection, backward direction, and stepwise regression are three variants of this stepwise regression procedure approach. SSCU allows us to pick from any of these tactics and discretion to choose the proper one. Next, analysis the output. We are able to validate the value of recent coefficient as multiple coefficient to determine the output. The multiple regression coefficient R and the adjusted multiple regression to determine by examining the output of the result. And this is the coefficient, which is from 0.91 to 1 is very strong, 0.01 to 0.99 is strong, 0.91 to 0.7 is medium, 0.31 to 0.5 is weak, 0.01 to 0.3 very weak, and 0 is no correlation. Formulation for multiple linear regression ML equation is y equal to a0 plus a1 plus x1 plus a2 x2 plus a3 x3 plus a4 x4 plus a5 x5 plus a6 x6 plus a7 x7 plus a8 x8 plus a9 x9 plus a10 x10 plus A11 as 11 plus epsilon, which is epsilon is the Everton when mean is 0. Next is expected finding. This chapter gives the result of multiple regression analysis on forecasting the balance of state using the data series from Monthly Statistical Bulletin Sabah, the Department of Statistics Malaysia Sabah from 2003-2009. The time period covered by this data series is from 2003 to 2009. Expected finding that I found from this research is that stepwise multiple regression, conventionally multiple regression, and hierarchy multiple regression are three most prevalent approaches to doing a multiple regression study. Conventional multiple regression analysis by far the most widespread method of multiple regression analysis. The predictor variables are all entered into the equation at once in this kind of multiple regression analysis. In stepwise multiple regression, the researchers give SPSS a list of predictor variables and then allow SPSS select on a purely mathematical basis which variable to include in the equation and in what sequence. One kind of multiple regression is called stepwise multiple regression. Multiple regression may be done in a number of different ways, including a more complex stepwise method. There are three unique variants of this tactic: the forward selection, the reverse direction, and the stepwise regression version. The forward selection is the most common, in light of the fact that the investigation makes use of stepwise regression strategy. The stepwise multiple regression technique will pick to be used in data analysis that come about the consequence of using this methodology. The variable that will be used to determine eligibility for this assessment is the balance of trade, including in this the export of cocoa bean, crude petroleum, the export of palm oil, export of plain plywood, the export of sound timber, and the export of manufacturable fertilizer, import of fully assembled motor vehicle, import of petroleum product, import of refined sugar from beef and cane, import of rice, import of tube pipe and fitting made of iron and steel are the 11 separate predictor variables. The use of MLR in the process of constructing a model forecasting the condition of balance of trade basic phase of development, verifying the assumption, determine which MLR procedure may be used, analyzing the outcome, and MLR equation are generally processed involved. Summary: this chapter shows the expected result from the forecast balance of trade by using multiple linear regression analysis data and method of multiple regression. It shows the result from different types of regression that have in statistics. The result of multiple regression had been done after doing the calculation. Besides, it shows the result of the mathematical method from the multiple regression analysis of variance and also the model building approach of this study. The last one is I will discuss about the conclusion. Introduction. In this conclusion, we will discuss the result of the research. It is reasonable to conclude that study aim were met with the ultimate purpose of any research, but there are other areas that may be benefit from more study. Summary of finding: palm oil export, crude petroleum export, import of petroleum product, import of motor vehicle, entire build-up and export of plain wood all play in vital part of anticipating the balance of trade. It's saying that the model assumption hold true. Thus, it's safe to infer that it can be applied to any published balance of trade. The value of economic export minus to import over a certain period of time is known as the balance of trade from the economy. Therefore, it is an essential barometer to use in order to evaluate the state of any economy. The purpose of this research study was to first and foremost determine the historical trend in Sabah's trade 2020 balance. Secondly, to construct a regression model through application of multiple linear regression analysis, and thirdly, to validate the multiple regression model through the application of time series data that was obtained from the monthly statistical bulletin Sabah, which published by Department Statistics Malaysia Sabah. All of these goals were intended to be accomplished in order. The trend of prediction of the balance trade data were examined using variety of methods. Results indicated that we should finish our study by stressing two key based on the experience and analytic finding. If the data series instead split into some minor in different behaviors set downward step, there will be significant instruction in model fitting and the forecasting operation. The validity of certain model has to be checked periodically as a basis of time processor. Therefore, the first two goals has been completed successfully as a result of the previous periods. Different is we need to follow the APA from the guide of UTM. And that's all from me. Thank you.